diagram will not be drawn for you. Compatible, similar problems we've seen before. We saw French and Italian people on a tour bus. We saw Polish and Greek. We saw Spanish and something else. We saw people that had microwaves, people that didn't have microwaves. We saw people that could play piano and play guitar, and people that couldn't carry a note in a bucket if they had to. We saw lots of different iterations of this. How I know that a Venn diagram is going to be useful, when I read the exercise, they start talking about this or that or both, which tells me that there's some possible overlap situations, and that means that seeing is a little bit easier. Very, very easy problem if you set it up right. So we know that we have 27 people that can speak French. One of these circles is going to be the French circle. And just because it got there first, I'm going to say it's the left-hand circle. Now be careful here, because some of us made mistakes on our test in that when we said that there were 27 French-speaking people, some of you pulled it down and put it here. Some of you put those 27 inside the circle, which gave you a false opinion, false impression, because it visually looks like it's only on that part of the circle. I don't know where those 27 people are, but I know they're somewhere in this circle. So if you're going to list a total for a circle, don't put it inside of the Venn diagram circle. Put it on the outside, because that's a total value. And you have no idea how many part are on the left-hand crescent and in the middle football shape of the problem. Same thing for the Italian. Italians, I have 50, and I certainly don't want that 50 inside the circle, because it will give me a false impression. That's where most of you missed a problem like this, because you put the numbers in the wrong place in the diagram. So those are totals. They don't belong in the individual pieces that we look at in the problem. And then I have 22 that can't speak either one of them. So where are those 22 people? So they're sitting out here somewhere, right? And we have a grand total of 90 people. How are you going to approach this problem? Because I can think of 3 different ways to do it.
Subtract all the components from the 90.
Subtract what from?
Subtract like the 27, 50, and 22 from the 90.
Okay, here's a suggestion. 27 and 52 and 22 are supposed to be subtracted from 90. Now what's the problem? What's the problem with that?
The extra is what's in the center.
You mean 50 or 52?
Oh, it's supposed to be a 50. Okay, well, we'll fix that again. We'll just clear this. Then we'll go back and do this. So this is supposed to be a 50. Either way you look at it, still. The problem with that is the connotation. I don't think I can have a negative 9 people. But when you said that's what's in the middle, I know what you meant, but you've overcounted your problem by 9 people. What you're really, if you're going to do it that way, what you're really looking at is this part of the problem. This is how many people appear to be involved in this exercise. And that's more than are actually involved in the class trip, because some have been counted twice. So that does give you a dead giveaway that you have an extra section in here, because this is the section where we ended up having the both. Let me go back to this again and do this. There. This is the section where they're containing both of them. So yes, you could add all of the individual ingredients and find out how much you've overshot the total that you knew were there, because you know where the extra have to be and you know why they appeared to be extra. So that's one way to be able to do it. Not everybody thinks that way. Another way to be able to do it would be to come back in to do something like this. from the total, subtract the 22. Who are outsiders. They're not inside the circles. So if we take 90 and we subtract the 22, that gives us a value of 68. What does that 68 represent?
How many in the middle?
So if we've taken away the outsiders, this has to represent the total inside the circles. I know there's 68 people total inside the circles, and now we can start fighting with the 27 and the 50. So another way to do the problem would be here. If we come back in words, if we take the total inside the circles and we remove from that total one group, either the French or the Italians, your choice. Okay, so for some reason we're picking on the Italians today. All right, not really, okay. Then that 68 minus the 50 would have to leave us, 68 minus the 50 would have to leave us with 18. Now visualize what you're doing. If you took this entire circle here away from the two circles combined, it leaves you 18. And what does that 18 represent?
Italians.
Only Italian.
You took away the Italians.
Only French.
So they have to be the only French part of the problem. These would be the people that speak French only, which means we know that 18 people go right there. Now, it wouldn't have made a difference if you took the French away or the Italians away. It wouldn't have made a difference. You're going to get the same kind of result. But once you get one of those three small inner pieces of the circle, everything tumbles pretty quickly now. Of those 27 people that were in the French circle, you knew where 18 of them are, so don't we know what's left over? So we again can do a subtraction problem there. So to take this 27 people that are the French speakers and to take away the 18 that are French only leaves us 9 that speak both languages. So that's how we come up with the 9. And now once we have that center section, it really tumbles quickly. So now we know of the 50 people that are in the Italian circle, we're going to take 9 away and leave us with a value of 41. So the same kind of approach to the problem. So we would take the 50 Italian speakers and we would take away the 9 that are capable of speaking both languages and come up with the 41 that speak Italian only. And I'm not saying that the adding together the way it was originally stated is wrong. I'm just saying that not everybody is going to see that, so there's alternate ways to be able to look at the problem. Nothing wrong with that as long as you recognize what those numbers mean. So here I'm trying to write out things in words for you so that when you come back and look at this, if you come back and look at this, you have some idea about why we did certain things in the problem. So I know you're going to see a problem like this. And that should be an easy 8 points or 10 points or whatever they gave the problem value on the exercise to be.